In my last post, I shared a story from my last art fair. Another story I'd like to share from that weekend has nothing to do with art, has nothing to do with a sale, but just is a really cool story, and I'm in awe. A couple came into the booth and were looking around, and I noticed that the woman was wearing a shirt that said something like, "Plant Lady." Well, I love plants, and if I weren't an artist, I think I'd be at my local botanical garden trying to study for my Master Gardener certificate. So I asked her what kind of plants she likes to grow. Well, she likes to grow everything, and she talked about how she collects perennials and rescues them from other people's yards who are getting rid of them. And then she proceeded to tell me how she saved her clematis. When she and her husband moved to Chicago, the house had a clematis, and at that point it was 80 years old. It was planted when the house was built. She kept that plant alive for an additional 40 years, and it bloomed every year. When the couple retired, they were moving and knew that the people buying their house were going to take out the clematis. Well, she couldn't let that happen, so she dug it up along with all the other perennials in her yard that she wanted to save. Well, that clematis didn't do great, and for 3 years, even though it was alive, it didn't bloom. And she was really feeling a lot of guilt that she had killed this 120-year-old plant. But after 3 years, this was the year that it finally bloomed, and she couldn't have been happier. And I couldn't have been happier for her. I mean, how amazing is that? To keep a plant alive, to have a plant be alive for 120 years, and for you to be its steward. It was just so cool to me. Hearing her story, sensing her care, compassion, and joy for what she was doing for the earth, for this plant, that's something I carry and bring forward into my work. So I'm just thankful that she shared her story with me.